Yeah, so now we're at the 12th house. Now we're at the 12th house, and the 12th house, as it says here, loss, expense, loss slash expense, the result of the enemy's actions, gain of last possession. All of this should be known by the wise from Vyaya. Okay, so Vyaya means the 12th house. So now let's look at the indications. The 12th house liberates us from earthly concerns. Therefore, it is the most significant moksha house. One of the reasons we desire to be free of earthly concerns is to escape from the pain and suffering that is part and parcel of the world. So we desire to escape from earthly concerns because it is painful and full of suffering to be part of the world. So this is the last house, and it's the house of completion. Our greatest escape is to become spiritually liberated. Therefore, the 12th house rules spiritual liberation. To be free from all of our karmas and burn all of our karmas and be spiritually liberated. Man pursues spiritual liberation through renunciation and a monastic life. Therefore, the 12th house rules renunciation and monasteries. Man is also taken away from practical concerns through incapacitation and hospitalization. 12th house therefore rules incapacitation, hospitalization, and hospitals. This really interesting story that comes to my mind is a story told by Sadhguru, who was saying that he met someone who was a realized being, an enlightened person, and this person was a vegetable vendor. So he went and asked him that, how are you here? Why are you here? Because he was glowing. He had that sign of being a realized person. And he said he was on the verge of death. He was on his deathbed in a hospital, and they told him that you're gonna die today. You're gonna die today. And they sort of just gave up on him, thinking that today he's gonna die, today he's gonna die. And he just became so comfortable with death that he became enlightened. Like he broke all his bondages of his ego and attachments to every worldly thing because he thought he was gonna die every day. So there's no point in being attached anymore. And over time, day by day, it happened to him. So which is interesting because that person might have some 12th house things going on. So it's interesting how it rules incapacitation. He was incapacitated, and he was hospitalized. Some find themselves becoming free from practical concerns through imprisonment. 12th house therefore also rules imprisonment and prisons. So similar to a hospital, it could be person goes to jail and he's imprisoned now, and he's able to give up his worldly desires in the prison because he literally can't deal with it anymore, because he's not out in the world anymore. So just ends up giving up on them, ends up being completely detached from them. So that something like that could happen. Sex, drugs, and fantasies are also a way of escaping earthly concerns. The 12th house therefore also rules sex, drugs, and hidden desires. Okay, sex, drugs, and fantasies are a way of escaping the earthly concerns. So it's also these three things: sex, drugs, and hidden desires. One way, one may also go to a foreign place once they have completed reaping the results. Hold on. Yeah. So see, if a person is finished reaping the results of their karmas in the place that they live, They might go to a foreign place. So the 12th house therefore also represents foreign residents and other things of foreign origin. That which we put out as we move through life in order to fulfill our responsibilities indicates our expenses. Expenses are things we put out to fulfill responsibilities, right? Which is the 12th house. It's the house of expenses. As expense that may give eventual financial freedom, 12th house also rules long-term investments. So we can expend our energy, resources, money for ultimate financial freedom, like a big investment, or all our time to create a big business that pays for itself, something like that, and gives us full financial freedom. So it also rules long-term investments. Understanding comes from completion. 12th house therefore rules the research and experimentation that gives understanding. So once we complete something fully, only then do we understand it fully. So the 12th house is the house of research and experimentation. You do research and experimentation to complete what you're researching and experiment, right? You reach the end of the experiment and then you learn. So research and experimentation gives us understanding, as well as laboratories this takes place in, right? So so really the 12th house is a house of completing things and understanding things. Completing, therefore understanding, and this happens in laboratories through research and experimentation. In fact, the feet, which are governed by the 12th house, symbolize understanding. Okay, so it's pretty cool house to think about. These are the key terms again: escape, completion, spiritual liberation, renunciation, monasteries, incapacitation, hospitalization, hospitals, imprisonment and prison, fantasy, sex, drugs, hidden desires, foreign residence, foreign origin, expenses, long-term investments, research, experimentation, and laboratories. So if the 12th house is really good, then these things will work out well. If the 12th house is not good, then these things will not work out so well. Like a person can get stuck in sex, drugs, and hidden desires, right? They can make, they're not able to complete things, therefore they're not able to get the knowledge from research, experimentation, and laboratories. They're not able to go to the foreign place because they're not able to fully complete the karmas they have in the place of their native origin. They're not able to, they want to do it, they make attempts, but they're not able to renunciate, go to monasteries, and maybe they're end up being hospitalized or something. Uh, so it just, if it's not good, it might happen like a bad way. But anywhere there's loss factors in it, like in order for you to gain something, you have to complete it. You have to expend energy, expend resources, money to be able to gain something, right? Now that gain can be, uh, you could gain something really worthwhile, right? Based on what you expended, or you could not gain something worthwhile. It wasn't worth it. So this depends on the health of the 12th house, right? So they might end up going to prisons and stuff, and they might gain something. They might gain a detachment, but it might not be so worth it because it happened in prison. It did not happen in an ashram. An ashram is kind of like a prison, so maybe it can be a good thing. It really has to be seen in the chart because the ashram sort of more of a positive nature, a monastery, and this is more of a negative nature because this is, you can't really leave a prison. You can leave a monastery if you want. So Yeah, long-term investments might not work out if it's bad, and they might work out to give financial freedom if it's good. Things like that. So that's the 12th house.